Chapter 8. The office emptied into the busy early evening traffic that was jamming the Charing Cross Road. Steve glided through the mass of people struggling to get home before slipping into the Pillars of Hercules, where his colleagues were gathered. Their local was full of old London character, and always the same characters. It was an out-of-the-way place the tourists wouldn't just stumble into. You had to intend to end up there, and even the regulars could easily miss this old watering hole, hidden between the borderline on Manette Street and the western edge of Soho. At the business end of the working day, the real work took over when the liquid flowed. Nobody he knew had any money, but being knackered and poor was the life you signed up to if you wanted the success that could come at the end of it all. For everyone in this industry, life was an endless round of socialising, small talk, big talk, and getting hammered with people you didn't always want to meet again. It wasn't a hard life, but tonight it felt like this was taking one too many for the team. Steve just wanted to go home and reflect, plan and sleep. His colleagues would push on late into the night again, but they weren't going to America. He was. He stayed for a couple before making his excuses and jumping on the bus to Islington. He was home by 9, and with no reason not to, he gave Greta a call. She lived up the road and they'd hooked up a few times. She was okay company, but the best thing about Greta was that she never expected to stay over. He wasn't good at asking somebody to leave before sleep time, and was even worse at sharing his bed all night. Greta appeared at the door 30 minutes later with chicken sheesh, and they sat on his roof terrace eating the food and listening to London go through its nightly wind-down routine, accompanied by Astral Weeks. The CD was still playing when Greta woke up. Like Steve, she too had drifted off and quickly skulked away, leaving him to sleep in the warm night air. Shortly before 2 a.m, Steve shivered awake as the cold of a late summer's night won the battle over the lingering heat of the day. Looking around the rooftop and then the flat, he was relieved that Greta had predictably wandered home. Not for the first time, he wondered why he'd wasted another evening with her. On the surface, she was interesting enough, but when they were there, together, they barely spoke. This was not what he was looking for. Whilst he was in no rush to find love's young dream, this was as far from that as Steve could contemplate. They were young, but there was nothing dreamy about their unions. London attracted a lot of lonely people, and while many found love and happiness, London was no panacea for the loneliness that gripped them. This evening was enough for him to decide that Greta wasn't the one. He saw no point in seeing her again.